Good morning, everyone. Once again, we welcome you to the International Conference on Revisiting History, Ethnicity, and Myth in Literature 2023, organized by Amity School of Languages, Amity University, Rajasthan. We welcome you to our technical session 9 of day 2. I am
Am I
Kanishka Saini,
audible?
and I am Khushi Jangal, the host of the session. In this session, we have 13 paper presentations. We would like to extend a warm welcome to our session chair, Dr. A.S. Rao. Dr. A.S. Rao is an esteemed academician and a distinguished figure in the field of education. With an illustrious career spanning over 2 decades, he has made significant contributions to the realm of academia, both as a prolific writer and dedicated educator. In the academic sphere, Dr. Rao has left an indelible mark through his scholarly works. He has authored 4 books, contributed 38 research papers, published 7 book chapters, and presented 32 papers in various national and international conferences and seminars. His interests also extend to nurturing the holistic development of students, focusing on topics such as the role of and responsibility of a student and how to prepare for exam in his motivational terms. Dr. A.S. Rao's multifaceted contributions to the field of education have inspired countless educators and students, leaving a lasting impact on the academic community. We welcome you, sir. Now, we'll move towards the paper presentations. Our first presenter is Arya.
Hello, I'm Arya. Can I start the presentation?
Wait.
Okay.
Kanishka? Arya, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay, good. And I request all of you to keep your mic mute. And the moment I call the paper presenter, you should appear with video. And each presenter will take 7 minutes. And then last 2 minutes, after 7 minutes, 2 more minutes, that will be for interaction if there is any. So kindly stick to your time, and better rather than only reading the paper, if you can discuss, if possible, please go for the discussion, rather than reading the full paper from the page. I don't prefer that the presenter should read everything from the paper. So we will, and greetings from University of Science and Technology, Lakshmangarh, Sikar, Rajasthan. I am Dr. Amity University. This opportunity to chair the session. All the best. Good luck to everybody. Over to Arya, please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'm Arya from Kerala, doing research in English. The title of my article is History and Geography at the Postmodern Crossroads, a vital musing on Jennifer Egan's Manhattan Beach. Am I audible enough?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Jennifer Egan is a Pulitzer Prize winning American novelist and a short story writer, and I hope at least some of you are familiar with her writings. The novel I have chosen for the study is Manhattan Beach, which was published in 2017, and this is said to be her 3rd novel, which is set in the backdrop of Great Depression of 1930s and World War II. The novel is critically acclaimed as a postmodern masterpiece. The plot of the novel was written by the author after her meeting with a lady, Andrea Motley Crabtree, the first female diver in the US Army in the early 1900s. The book fictionalizes Andrea Motley Crabtree as a character, the major character, the protagonist Anna Kerrigan, and explores her struggles to distinguish herself as a female diver among the male divers, with reference to Linda Hutchins' take on the postmodern theory and Mikhail Bakhtin's Chronotop. Through this current investigation, I would like to ponder over how the representative text espouses certain postmodern narrative strategies to bring up innovation. So the novel is all about the protagonist Anna Kerrigan. When the novel opens up, in an extremely crucial and symbolic scene, we meet Anna as a very little girl. Later on, the story progresses, positing a detailed account of her father, Eddie Kerrigan's fall from riches to rags after the Great Depression and the economic recession. This unfortunately forced him to work under a criminal for a very meager income. The incapacity to manage his new financial circumstances and lack of determination to confront the new reality worsened the situation, and he chose to leave his family behind. After this, we can see a sudden leap in the narration. The readers will discover a changed Anna, the grown-up Anna, who is working in the Brooklyn Naval Yard in the middle of 1940s, while the nation is at war, World War II. So she is supporting her mother and her introverted speech-impaired sister. One day, while having lunch at her workplace, Anna saw a diver diving in a barge, which inspired her to pursue a career in diving. So that's all about the summary of the novel. However, coming to my findings, in my observation, the novel is arguably a reservoir of chronotops, and hence its critical rumination sounds pertinent at this juncture because it exemplifies how fiction in the postmodern crossroads is engrossed with unhackneyed narrative strategies. Here, the narrative experiments with and interweaves history and geography at specific junctures. As far as the select narrative is concerned, it ladles out Brooklyn's urban geography to post reflections about the historical, cultural ebbs and underlying socio-political economic realities of the time. I hope this adequately substantiates Mikhail Bakhtin's take on chronotops. The etymological roots of the word chronotop in Greek reveal that chronos and topos stand for time and space respectively, which are primarily deployed to capture attention to the physical settings, spaces where stories happen. And he also describes a few of the ways how people and societies interact with their concrete physical space in the literary landscape, and also resorts to this concept in part to investigate how the novelistic discourses acquire their defining generic traits. So, in the light of all of this, we can scrutinize the chronotopic setting of the novel. So, this chronotopes constitutes a series of images, symbols, and conventions as far as the select novel is concerned. The prologue of the work is the primary example where the author quotes from Herman Melville's Moby Dick, indicating the indispensable roles played by the geography of oceans in the novel. Geographical characteristics are undoubtedly chronotops in Bakhtin's terminology. Therefore, it vindicates the title, and the beach or the ocean serves as a catalyst in binding the people to the accelerating, decelerating movements of history and time. As a result, geography is astutely introduced to everyday life and history into the universal, individualized, and emotional spheres of Anna and her four characters. In effect, the characters transform into the playthings of the environment they live in, as is evident in the description of Anna's father, Eddie's psychological turmoil, who eventually becomes just as dispersed as the Brooklyn society during the American post-Depression era. So, when seen in an abstract way, the urban landscape of New York or Brooklyn society represents the societal upheavals too. The protagonist in the surroundings undergo changes in the real historical time with all of its necessity, its fullness, its future, and its profoundly chronotopic nature. Consequently, she and all the co-characters seem to draw lessons from the culture's elementary philosophy of time, history, that is closely welded to the emotionally charged concrete spaces of the cityscape. And it can be seen that the characters are binary opposites and their lives, especially Anna's, appears very tragic and ironical. This certifies Linda Hutchins' view on postmodern as essentially ironic. The author deliberately follows a fragmented plot construction in which each of the pieces flowed separately. And to reflect the fragmentation the story's characters encounter in real life, the narrative device is also completely jumbled and uneven. A completely diverse understanding of time and plot that rejects linear time as intrinsically defective is what postmodern novels are most frequently known for. And
Arya,
yes, sir.
Arya, 1 minute.
Yes,
1
sir.
minute. Sum
Ah.
up. Kindly continue and sum up in 1 minute.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll wind it up in 1 minute. So Egan uses flashbacks and foreshadowing. There is an unnatural play of flashbacks and foreshadowing in the narration. She begins with a third person omniscient point of view and later on slips to the perspectives of Anna, Dexter Styles, Eddie, and various other characters. And they portray or indirectly portray the inevitability of subjective realities, character views that vary, and the experience of ever shifting historical and cultural dynamics. So, to conclude, as is evident in the discussion, Egan comes across as a nuanced novelist, especially regarding Manhattan Beach, because the novel examines the postmodernist emphasis of social realism, the narrative technique of discontinuous chronology, the employment of flashback, foreshadowing. All these play a part in the profundity of the novel. Therefore, it may be argued as the author of such sense fiction, Jennifer Egan qualifies to be a significant author of contemporary American fiction. The current investigation intended to scrutinize how the select novel, where history and geography are remarkably contested, highlights its preoccupation with Bakhtin's theory in a postmodern juncture. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Yes, very well. Arya, I congratulate you. You have really well brought out the historical and geographical aspect from the novel Manhattan Beach. Very good and very well presented also.
Thank you.
What I wanted, you have done it. You didn't read the paper. You naturally explained it, everything. So good. Audience, if you have any query, any question, thank you, Arya. Congratulations. Now the next candidate, Kirti Sharma. Kirti Sharma.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. My name is Kirti. I am research scholar at Central University of Rajasthan. And as we are revisiting the history, I believe that we should think globally but work locally. So that's why I decided to talk on analyzing the contribution of Bhils in freedom struggle with special reference to when arrows were heated up. One third population of the tribal community lives in India. They serve as a representative of their culture, customs, and India's cultural and folk history. However, due to a variety of factors, tribal in general have been largely neglected in terms of socio-cultural assimilation and economic upgradation. Before starting about their struggle, we should know about who are Bhils. So Bhil is the largest tribal group in India as per the census of 2011. They constitute approximately 38% of the total scheduled tribal population of India. Bhil tribals are found mainly in the state of Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and the language they use is the Bhili language. Today, we will focus on the work written by Hariram Meena, and the work is When Arrows Were Heated Up. This work is mainly written in Hindi, Dhuni Tapeti. Hariram Meena opens a forgotten chapter of Indian history, a movement accumulating into an occasion of supreme sacrifices of Adivasis in Rajasthan's Baswara area. This novel is based on the realistic incident happened during the 1913 and 1913. It focuses on the issues that faced by Bhil tribal community, how Govind Guru impacted their life. This novel it's not just fictional, but Hariram Meena was former IPS officer. So he read, he researched for 14 to 15 years, and after all that factual fact, he created a fictional world with the help of that facts, and he wrote When Arrows Were Heated Up, that is Dhuni Tapeti. It focuses on the incident that happened 6 years before the Jallianwala Bagh incident at Amritsar. At Mangad Hills in Rajputana witnessed the death of several hundred tribals who stood up in protest against operation of the Raj. They were surrounded by the forces of the British and native rulers. The Adivasis, under the leadership of the spiritual guru and reformer Govind Bhagat, fought valiantly and died as martyrs. Sadly, the heartbreaking story has still unknown outside Rajasthan. It is one of that needs to be told and retold to generation of Indians. The author's painstaking research and his understanding of local history and culture result in the detailed reconstruction of a tragic yet glorious saga that should remain permanently on the Indian mind. So before starting the discussion, I really want to tell you a very tiny story that why they are neglected. What was the reason behind it? Gauri Shankar Oja was a very famous historian of Rajasthan who wrote the history of Rajasthan. In one of his writings, in interviews, some person asked him that why he neglected a very major incident that happened at his hometown. In his hometown, there was a rebel against the British by the Garasia tribal community of Rohida. So, just because to suppress them, the Britishers killed more than 1800 Garasia tribal communities. They were doing a very peaceful, peaceful revolt over there. But when Gauri Shankar Oja wrote about it in the history, he wrote that they were doing some miscellaneous activity against the Raj. So that's why Raj took the actions, and in that, some Garasia tribal communities died. And the whole chapter, the whole sacrifice, and the whole real rebel against the taxes was erased from the history of our country, the history of Rajasthan. What is the reason behind that? The main reason, what I feel, is that the paid authorship, the king, the Raj used to pay the writers to write. So that's the only reason why the subaltern voices of the Rajasthan or any other part of the country are neglected by the author of that particular time. But the history was revived during the folk literature with the help of folk lit. Yes, sir.
2 minutes. Sum up
Okay,
in
sir.
2 minutes.
Okay, sir.
We will take interactive session then.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So the novel focuses on the Mangad Dham. From a social standpoint, the main focus that here is that on Mangad Dham on 17 November 1913, in the leadership of Govind Guru, a peaceful fair was organized. They were celebrating their own tradition, their own puja and all that. But Raj and Britishers came there and they killed more than 1500 of Bhil tribal community people. So this happened before 6 years of Jallianwala Bagh, but this is nowhere in the history of our country. So that's the only reason why I chose the topic to talk about their struggle and their contribution and their sacrifices. We all are aware about the dominant class and the dominant sacrifices, but the paper wanted to make everybody realize that it is not just some people. This independence that we are living today, it is not gifted. It is the sum of sacrifice, courage, and the bravery of many unsung heroes like Bhil and the incident of the Mangad. Thank you.
Thank you again, Kirti Sharma. Good presentation. You have taken up a very relevant topic of the marginalized people. Bhils are the marginalized people once upon a time. And in your presentation, you have really, differentiated the history and literature. Yes, of course, history is written by the mercenary historians. They are under the impact of the power. So they are paid and they just mold the history. But as far as you have taken up Hariram Mina's work, and when the arrows are heated up, literature has portrayed the real picture of the contemporary time, that is without manipulation. So that is the basic difference you have brought out in your paper, that a historian is not that much trustworthy as a literary person. So
Yes.
good presentation. Very
Thank you,
good.
sir.
Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
But one query, I would like to ask you one thing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That,
sir.
yeah, Bhils have only one language, Bhili.
Sir,
Once
actually,
somewhere.
sir, Bhili language is the not just a one language. They especially the Bhils of Rajasthan resides in southern Rajasthan. So they also speak Waghadi language. There is also impact of Gujarati language. So Bhili language is just a language which is used by many Bhil community people, but they also speak Waghadi, Gujarati, as well as Godwadi, the mixture of it. For example, I am from Abu Road. So, Bhils of my area speak the mixture of Godwadi and Gujarati because they have touch of the Sirohi district as well as they have touch of the Banaskantha district of Gujarat. So that's why there is always a mixture of the surroundings that we are living. So that's it, sir.
But
Okay.
because I raised this question, because you have talked about the Bhils of Maharashtra also, MP also, Gujarat also.
Sir, that was a generic introduction that these are the area where Bhils are founded. For example, there are more than 6 states where Bhils resides, and I focused on the Bhils and the struggle of the Bhils of the southern Rajasthan only.
Good.
Thank
The floor is open for audience. We can take up 2 questions from the audience. No question. So then means no question. No news is the best news. No question is the best presentation. Congratulations
sir.
to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next candidate, Amisha Ravani. Amisha Ravani.
Yes, sir. Am I audible to you?
Yes, you are very much audible. All the best. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sharing my screen here first.
Amisha, please stick to the time, 7 minutes. Amisha Ravani, you disappeared from the screen. Are we audible to you?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Don't go for the screen and don't show a screen. Just give the brief summary discussion, whatever paper you have written. Showing the screen.
Okay, so there is no need for PPT kind of things.
See, I am saying that you are given 7 minutes. Using the PPT, reading out from the PPT will waste your time. So just normally, casually sum up whatever you have written in your paper.
Sir, can you just give me half of minute so I just can bring my manuscript with me?
Amisha, your paper is migration, memory, and identity. Even if
Yes,
you talk about these words, these are the key words in the history of English, in the history of the human society. So whatever paper you have based on migration, memory, and identity problems, so you can discuss on it. No problem.
Okay.
Time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I would like to start my talk from the blurb, which is I selected as a text. That is a kind of traveler, which is titled as a room. And their author has given, I keep looking in the direction from where your fragrance wafts in. from where your stairs takes me to the front of blue door and white walls. So basically, this is the novel where I have found that there is not much work of it, and the novel title is Roof. And in this novel, author has talked about uh, um, his childhood, which is situated in the Kashmir, and then how they got migrated to the Bombay, because from the history we can come to know that how people of Kashmir have lived their life under the issue of identity. We can see that in the novel there are so many descriptions that where author himself is not going to introduce himself as a Kashmiri, or recently we have movies out there that Kashmiri Pandits and all those things were in history of Kashmir. And basic things I have found in this novel. My concern about this novel is about thematic study of the text, which I have mentioned. When I go to the memory aspect of this novel, then we can come to know that the author is time and again talk about his father, and there is also a original descriptions I wanted to show you, and that is in my PPT, but I have to find here. Basically, this novel is in Hindi by author himself, and then it got translated into English. Yeah. On his father's back, he used to draw his own future with his nails. His father had the skin of mountain bearer, but just for him, he used to keep his skin rough and uneven, lest he ever find it difficult to outline his future. One day he stopped in middle of his artwork. "What happened, son?" I asked the father. He replied, "It's done." And his father got up and left. And we can see that there are so many scenes which where author has said that how father is ignoring all these things, because when migrated people are choosing migration by themselves, for themselves, to be safe or to find a self shelter, or they are maybe migrated by the force of system. uh, when we go to the historical part of Kashmir, we can come to know there are so many events are taking place right now. Also, there are so many issues which are political concerns are there, and also the novels came into my mind that Ministry of Utmost Happiness. There also Arundhati Roy has portrayed all these things. When we come to the travelogue or the literature of travelers, we can come to know that they have a picturization all the journeys of their life, very much we can relate to that. If a fiction is going to take a place with a historical traits, that will be not relatable that much to the readers. Another thing I have mentioned in the paper is about migration identity, and how author is missing his place, and there he has quoted T.S. Eliot Scott, as well as the Jodie Colton's quote, that how you have to leave the place where where your roots are actually got rooted.
You have taken up all the three aspects are very well explained: migration, memory, and identity, right? So one thing you need to highlight, that what is the aspect of identity where he wants to create identity, which kind of identity. Please focus on identity aspect.
Yeah. So whenever he goes to Kashmir right now, in the present time, whenever author is having a trip to Kashmir, there are so many scenes which are telling us that when Kashmiri people are asking to him that where are you from? So he is basically from Kashmir, but he is not saying that I am from Kashmir. because we know that how we are having wrong assumptions or our own beliefs towards the Kashmiri people. And when he migrated in his childhood to Bombay, so there are childhood scenes like children are not allowing him to play with them. So there are identity crises which was in the conscious mind, even not when we see the author's life, author's father's life, and his brother's life. We can come to know that they are trying time and again they are trying to hide their identity.
Good. You mean to say this novel is an autobiographical novel?
It is a memory. We can say it is a travelogue. Also, there are aspects of fictional. There are aspects of a memory novel as well. Because author is claiming that a scene is coming, so chronologically is going like here to that. Author is claiming before he is saying something that it is from my memory. It is from I have actually lived.
Who is the protagonist in the novel?
We can't say he is protagonist, but he is saying us the story of his life by his point of view.
Okay. Can you imagine, because I have worked on this identity problem and mainly on the best on the people migrated from Kashmir. So of course the situation was very painful. All people, most of them have really suffered, but all other people, they are just exaggerating this problem. There was no identity crisis because whenever they were migrated from Kashmir, wherever they settled in India, there was no problem for them. They did not suffer any identity. They suffered the identity when they went home. They tried to go home. So that was a problem which you have raised and taken up very well. That I appreciate. And Amisha, you have given your presentation better than looking at the support of PPT. Okay.
Thank
This is
you.
very
Thank you.
natural.
Thank you.
That is better than that.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you.
now we need the next generation not to read the papers, because whatever they have studied, whatever they have liked, they must speak it out with their own interpretation, with their own explanation, with their own viewpoints. Very
Yes, sir.
good.
Thank you.
Anyone from the audience would like to ask anything from Amisha Ravani? She has taken up 3 issues of migration, memory, and identity, mainly based on Kashmir migrants. Okay, no problem. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Do we have Naresh Kumar, the next one?
Hello, sir. Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible to all of you?
Very much audible. Appear with the video also, please.
I'm trying, sir, but the option for video I'm not getting. I'm not able to find it.
Mr. Naresh, we will come back. We will come back to you by the time you update your all the technical problems. The next candidate is Sarath S. Kumar. Naresh, we will get back to you. We will give you time. No problem. Sarath S. Kumar. Gazania Identity.
Good afternoon, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. Good.
So should I start presenting my screen, sir?
Introduce yourself, and better without paper, without a screen.
Okay, sir. Sure. So
Your
I'm
time is
Gazania.
7 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay. So good afternoon, Dr. Rao. So my paper is on the topic revisiting the Marxist past in the Red Star over the Third World. Okay. So, and I'm also historicizing Vijay Prasad's viewpoint by applying hermeneutics. So Red Star over the Third World is a book by Vijay Prasad, who is an American-based Indian historian and a Marxist intellectual. The book was originally published in the year 2017, which is fairly recent. That is, it was published in the 21st century. And I'm straight away pointing this out because it is something significant in order to perceive my paper. Now, the next part of my title, that is my topic, talks about the methodology, which is mainly hermeneutics. So hermeneutics is a branch of knowledge that deals with interpretation, as you all might know. So what I've done is I've interpreted most of the points that Vijay Prasad says in this book based on historical facts. Okay, so I've used historical facts to cross-check it basically. So because hermeneutics in one of its forms has always asked us to historicize to arrive at an authentic interpretation, I've chosen this methodology. And I've done the same in this paper, and it's like cross-checking with history and finally arriving at an authenticated interpretation. So that is my this idea behind this paper. Now, to introduce you to the contents of my paper, I would like to start it off with a poem by Werner Aspenström, who is a Swedish poet, and the poem goes like this. Okay, so after having read 73 poems about flight and about wings, I want to pay tribute to the soles of my feet, my downward facing soul, the art of stopping and having weight. So I chose these few lines. Even in my paper, I introduced my topic using these lines because human beings are capable of creating such plausible theories that sometimes it is overwhelmingly wings and idealism. It's overwhelmingly theory and not exactly grounded in reality at times. So we suddenly get to the point where we worship these ideals and we tend to be under it. We worship it and tend to be under it. And sometimes if we give enough attention to reality, we can finally create a set of thoughts that is, functional for our reality. That is my whole concern behind this paper, writing this paper. And now Marxism is one such theory that gives wings to our thought and is a created theory for an ideal world. Okay. And Vijay Prasad here, the author, cannot stop himself from talking more about it in his 2017 book, Red Star Over the Third World. I personally wanted to choose a 21st century book because I wanted to see how much the influence of Marxism is still present, even after 3 decades post-Soviet collapse. Okay, and I used the event he mentioned in his book to look at the other side of his views via history. And I tried not to overcome his views, but to realize the context about the history and whatever he is saying. All right. Now coming to the findings of my paper. I have to point out 2 findings. Okay, these are my findings of my paper. Number 1 is that all that Marxists can do is to make sure equality of opportunity is not taken away by capitalists. I say this because sometimes, even without a proper opposing force, systems can do away with certain elements for their advantage, isn't it? So, and capitalism is prone to do away with equality of opportunity. And Marxism is something that I find to be the one great force that can help with us. Help with this, and not in the form of revolution, but in the form of democratic approaches with the same set of values. Okay, this is even what Ambedkar recommended. All right. Now, here's my second point. My second finding is that Marxists cannot meddle with equality when it comes to outcomes. Okay, equality of outcome cannot be meddled with. That is the boundary about Marxism is something I found in this research, which, as I said, Marxism cannot meddle with equality of outcome. Why? Because I have in various places explained how equality of outcome is far beyond anyone's reach. I've given various examples, and I meant to say this because people vary in temperaments, they vary in their skills, their interests, and a million other parameters are involved. And we cannot equalize all of that, isn't it? And isn't it cruel to make people photocopies of each other? So this is why equality of outcome is dangerous.
Yeah. 1 minute, sum up.
Yes, sir. So my conclusion, I'll go to my conclusion. The conclusion of my paper is how psychology says that human nature is such that when individuals do a certain work, they wield a specialized skill. And if you incentivize it, you get more of that. And if everyone is treated equal, one would rather be lazy and extract as much as possible than be explorative and find meaning in life, isn't it? So that is my conclusion. And we'll have to take all of the lessons that Marxism has taught us in the past. And that is my conclusion. My limitation is like limited to this book. Whatever arguments Prashad presented, I've taken it and I presented it and cross-checked it. And the scope of the study is to revise more of such works that deals with Marxist history. And that is it, sir. That is the summary of my paper.
Good. Thank you, Prajanya. Thank you. And you have really taken up a very deep study. You have taken up very deep research, and you have raised the issues like history repeating, and the theory of Marxist is still relevant. But at the end, you took psychology also. You dragged the psychological aspect in between. So one more minute you need to speak how history and psychology will work together, how Marxist theory are applicable more significantly with psychology.
So psychology, sir, it's like Vijay Prashad in this paper, he talks about how without following science, capitalism has created various narrative that, that makes you disillusioned by the reality. But then Marxism also does the same. Equalizing people wouldn't serve anything for the betterment of humanity. So that is why I've taken psychology, like few psychological research say that human beings, when they are incentivized, they tend to like positive reinforcement. If you reinforce certain things, you'll tend to have more of whatever they are doing. So that is basic psychology. So, and if you apply it to capitalism, capitalism is exactly doing that. So if you equalize people, they become indolent and they wouldn't explore life and they wouldn't find meaning in life. And incentive is something very important, like positive reinforcement. Yes, sir.
Yes, Gazania, isn't it a kind of contrast you are saying that equalizing the people that will lead the people to become indolent? But this statement is antithesis itself. It is contrasting itself.
Contrasting. I feel like people should have various area of exploration. Everyone's different. We are not photocopies of each other. So which means we are not equal. And we have one person will have a certain skill, another person will have another skill. And nurturing that skill would ultimately put us in different sectors. And we can develop on that, and we are never equal. One person is specialized in something, another is specialized in something. That is how I see it, sir. So that is how the world also works. Yeah.
In other words, in simple form, it means you do not favor equality, right?
Equality of rights is important. Equality of opportunity is very important. But equality of outcome, if you want to equalize your outcome, that is problematic. And that is what Marxism taught us in the past. Equalizing outcomes is problematic. Equality of opportunity is something that we really need, sir.
But you are saying in this paper that equality will lead to indolence. So then how the
No,
human
sir.
society will...
Equality of outcome. If everyone is getting the same incentive, then that is problematic. Equality of opportunity, on the other hand, if you're given equal opportunity, anyone can do anything. Okay, then it means it's good. That is
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone would like to ask from the audience? Although whatever Gajania is trying to defend equality and the output of equality is indolence, so I am not that much convinced. But if anybody from the audience can come to her rescue, or you can trigger more questions to her. Anyone?
Good afternoon, sir. Can I? I'm the co-presenter.
Yes, please. Please.
Yes, so I'm Dr. Vinita Sai. Good afternoon, Dr. Rao and everybody else here.
Namaskaram.
Yes. Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Namaste. So here, what she's trying to tell is that, I mean, all of us should have the same kind of platform. So everybody should have resources. We should have resource also to realize things. But ultimately, when we reap benefits or when we see some kind of success, that success should be our own. And I don't think it should all become one thing which Marxism sought to do, kind of. So whatever the outcome is. So what is ours will be ours. But of course, we are given the opportunity. So we will have, so if somebody wants, if A wants to do something and wants to be, follow agriculture, he or she should do it. And if B wants to become a photographer, he or she should do it. So, but then what A succeeds in doing is his own, ultimately everything contributes to the society, society and country. So that is what the opportunities, should be there for everyone. But then don't try to say that the profits are not yours. Your profits will become the profits of the state, of the government. That's what I hope that's what we're trying to tell, sir.
Yes, yes. You have tried to re-explain the same thing what Gajania was telling, and I am still with the same thing. In nutshell, the summary of your paper is that we need to work for equality, but when the results, consequences of equality come, then you favor inequality.
It's not exactly inequality. It's just that, see one thing, loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. I mean, our culture is something which thinks of vasudhaiva kutumbakam. So I mean, when we have earnest motives and when we do things with the right perspective, we are going to see the good of the world. So in everything, if we look at that, so we put in right things, we give our best. But I think what the Marxists try to do is just taking away from a few people and then giving it to everybody. So when people don't work and when they see profits, it's not good. You work and then you see your profit. I think that should be the thing. Labor.
Fine,
I think even in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says the same thing. I mean, you have to do your duty. Without doing your duty, we cannot expect results. Whether we get results or not, that's different. But we have to do our duty.
Yes, Dr.
Yes.
Vinita, Very good. I congratulate Gazania and Dr. Vinita. Both of you have really worked on the paper. And this is the first paper I see that the second author is also equally aware of the paper. You both have defended it. You both have really worked on the paper. So the best part of the paper is that you as a second author also are
Thank you, sir.
aware
Thank
of.
you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you, Gajenia. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Naresh Kumar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity.
Naresh Kumar. Sarath S. Kumar. Dhurvita.
Hello, sir.
Am I audible? You are Dhurvita?
Yes, sir. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible. And kindly introduce yourself and then come for your paper, please.
Okay, sir. So myself, Dhruvita Dhamelia. I am working as a visiting faculty, and today I am going to present about the novel Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children, in which we find that post-colonial identity and the memory aspect in the novel.
I'm sorry to
sir?
interrupt you.
Yes. Sir.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I requested each participant to introduce. In introduction, you need to tell who you are, from where you are, what you are doing. That is the well begun. We need to start, with good introduction. Then we will come to know who you are, why you are, from where you are, like that.
Okay,
we are equally important. That is equally important. We are interested in knowing it, please.
Okay, sir. So this is Dhruvita Dhamelia. I am from Gujarat, Bhavnagar. And today I am going to present my paper on the Midnight Children by Salman Rushdie. In the novel, we find that there are characters who facing post-colonial theme or identity. And I'm trying to find out in the novel that how character is facing it. And it became problematic in the future and in the living present life of the character. So very basic idea that Salman Rushdie is the migrant writer, that he is not an Indian writer, but he is writing about the Indian nation or about the India and the politics. And as we know that the novel itself is about Indian independence. That the character of a protagonist novel is talking about Salim Sinai, who is born in the exact moment when India got independence. And along with that, the way Salim grew, India also growing, the idea Salman Rushdie is portraying in the novel. But there is some problem that the author, is it from India, but not living in India and talking about the Indian nation or Indian culture along with the politics. So there is, we find that they are not feeling it, but they are just observing it and writing it. So in the novel that he created the character Salim, who is struggling with the identity, along with the hybridity that two culture, two folks, two family, two religion he belonged to. Along with that, there are many children who born with him, 1001 children, who got the same power as they are born with each other, that they have a telepathy power or some kind of a magic realism in the novel. The character of Salim, Shiva, Parvati, and many other characters who got the power as they are a special born child. So in the novel, we find that how their power became problematic in the novel. And the character, if I especially took the character of Salim Sinai, the protagonist, who born with the power of a telepathy. But what happened that when he born, he and his friend Shiva was swept by the nurse who want to bring a Marxism and want to impress her boyfriend, and that's why she swept both the child Salim and Shiva. And along with the sweeping of the children, they both the identity or the future of both the child was also got swept. And whatever Shiva is a Salim is the Shiva novel we can see in the novel, and whatever Shiva is deserving got Salim, and Salim deserve is got a Shiva. So in the novel, Rushdie tried to portray how hybridity became problematic and the identity when they are as a post-colonial Indian, born in the post-colonial India, and now they are got freedom, and now they have to create their identity, but they aren't able to make, as there is a British rule before they born, and as Salim is the son of a British ruler and the Vanita. So mix of the hybridity or identity in the novel, we find that. And my concern in the paper is to find out that the how idea of a dualism and idea of a duality became problematic for the character, and for somehow character of the Salim got a power, but one by one in the entire novel he is losing everything. First he loses power, then the family, and then the religion, then at the last he lost his memory also, and at the end of the novel he loses better half. So how the power with the identity and everything became a obstacle for him to live a present, as he is remaining or imagining his past. So memory became problematic in the character. Sorry, sir.
Dhurvita, you need to explain your keywords of the paper. Don't tell the story, please.
Okay, sir.
You need to.
So in the novel, there is a memory aspect, hybridity aspect, and the marginalization of the character. So in the novel, I took the idea of a memory, that how memory of the character became a problem for the character to live a present life. And basically my concern in the paper is to oversee the how memory and the history of the India became problem for the character. So that's it in my paper, also in the novel. And my topic is to discuss the theme of the novel, that how post-coloniality in the novel showcase the with the character's lifestyle and the way of living. So that is it, sir.
Good. Thank you, Dhurvita. Good. This is what I have really liked in your paper, is that what Salman Rushdie hardly lived initial years in India, and then migrated to England, and then being there, he is looking at Indian problems hypothetically. He has only observed the problem and written the thing. He has not felt it in the root. But basically what I feel is that if you look at our India in the post-colonial period, these are not the problems. These very high buzzing words, very heavy words like migration, memory, identity. These words, these problems are the Western problems. As far as my personal opinion is concerned, we do not have that kind of problem. These are the theories propounded in the Western country, which we are applying on our Indian context.
Yes, sir. Exactly. That was Salman Rushdie tried to make Salim that he is facing everything. But as a reality, we are not facing. But the character in the novel, Salim Sinha, is throughout the novel facing all these things, that memory, history, hybridity, and cultural mixture. So in the India, we are not facing it, but the Salman Rushdie tried to portray character of Salim Sinha as he is facing everything.
Yes, absolutely agreed. Absolutely right. Any query? Because we are running short of time. By 1 o'clock, we have to finish. And still there are 7 more presenters. Thank you very much, Dhurvita. The next candidate is Anandita Saha. Is there Anandita?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Please come for your paper.
Yes.
Anandita, please come with video. And
sir, I am unable to start my video because the host had stopped it.
oh my God, but we would like to see who is the presenter.
Which Konishka ma'am, please able me to so.
By the time, just like we are giving you time, try to overcome your technical things. And by the time, we will come back to you, okay, Andita? Don't feel nervous.
Yes,
next is Pooja Bhurwa. Pooja Bhurwa.
Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are audible, Pooja.
Yes,
hi.
Hello. Yeah. Can I start, sir?
Yes, you start, please. With your
Okay, sir.
introduction, you start. and only the keywords.
Okay, sir. So this is Pooja Bua. I am a student of I'm postgraduate student from Department of English MKBU Bhavnagar from Bhavnagar. So today's topic of this presentation is religion and culture in literature. Religion and culture is something which is really important in people's life. As Max Lind Stakehouse defined religion as comprehensive worldview or metaphysical moral vision, and Edward Burnett says about culture that it is a complex whole which includes so many capabilities and habits acquired by man as a member of society. Other anthropologist, famous anthropologist Clifford argued that religion is not just a set of beliefs and practices, but a system of symbol that conveys also meaning. In contrast of it, Asad also said that it is itself is a mere product of Western history. That's how so many people describe religion and culture in different ways. But there are three questions arises from this topic, which I choose to explain that what and who have promoted us to contemplate the distinction between religion and culture and religion versus culture. Second is how do these two concepts influence literature and humanity as a whole. And third one is like what are some historical, medieval, and modern works that serve as a reflection of this interplay between religion and culture. So for that, to explain that, I choose three work from each era. First one is Dante's Divine Comedy from ancient time, from 1320. He described in his work a depiction of hell and heaven, which is like a vivid portrayal of the moral and religious beliefs of that time, and also it is deeply rooted in Christian faith and reflects the Catholic worldview of that time. To express or continue the broaden to access broader audience, he wrote this work in Italian rather than Latin to express his view. Because in that time, we can consider that it is Italian language is more famous. He skillfully in this work blend Christian theology with pagan Greco-Roman mythology, presenting them as if it both coexist and harmonious way. From the medieval time, if we have to see, we can consider Paradise Lost by John Milton as a religion and religious or cultural aspect, as it is retail or describe so many biblical stories like a fall of man, focusing on Satan's rebellion, temptation of Adam and Eve. Milton this work is a grapple with complex theological questions such as the nature of free will, like the problem of evil and concept of redemption also. It reflects the Protestant belief and time and explores the relationship between humanity and divinity.
Pooja,
Yes, sir?
please sum up in 1 minute.
Okay, sir. From in modern era, I choose work of T.S. Eliot, The West End, which has a religious and cultural aspect, which can be seen through various interpretation which he brought up in this work with the mythological figures like Tiresias, Tristan, Isolde, etc. I try to see these three work in the context of a Marxist statement, which that Karl Marx famously stated, religion is the opium of the people. So in positive way and also in negative way. In conclusion, I would like to say that the exploration of religion and culture in literature is a profound journey that spans centuries and reflects the ever-evolving relationship between these two central aspects of human existence. Dante's Divine Comedy, John Milton's Paradise Lost, and T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland illuminates the enduring significance of religion and culture themes in literature, and it also reveals that how they shape and reflect the values, belief, and anxiety of their time in the context of religion and culture, which we are also woven in. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Pooja. The next candidate, Dr. Seema Sharma. Dr. Seema Sharma.
Good afternoon, Dr. Rao and everyone
Yeah,
else
good
here.
afternoon, ma'am.
My video has been stopped by the host, but I still want to present. I am Dr. Seema Sharma, Assistant Professor in Department of English, Maharaja Ganga Singh University, Bikaner. And my title is Bhagavad Gita's Contribution to the Indian Philosophy and Knowledge. And I know 7 minutes are very less to present this title, but I would like to start it. It's appropriately referred, Bhagavad Gita is appropriately referred to as a scripture of humanity. Since ancient times, it is referred and addressed contemporary issues and found solutions to universal human problems. It is a 700-verse Hindu scripture, which is a part of epic Mahabharata. It acts as a crucial manual for how humanity should think and behave to make moral choices, set aside egotistical goals, and step forward for peace and harmony. It reveals the experience of everyone in the world, the descent of man from a state of utter dejection, sorrow, total breakdown, hopelessness to a state of perfect understanding, renewed strength, and triumph. Its lessons apply to all the people. It emphasizes that God is present in all living beings and there is unity among all the creatures. So the only thing that separates one man from another is our acquired nature, that is sanskars, and that is unique in every person. And thinkers and writers like Emerson, Whitman, Thoreau, they experienced this broadening and deepening of this outlook of after studying Gita, and they were somewhere inspired. And this Gita teaches the true peace can only come by serving the common good and surrendering to the divine within us. Self-awareness through self-control is the first step on the route of leading others. Self-transcendent through selfless service is another step. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, he argues that this book on Indian philosophy can be viewed as Shruti, the rhythm of the infinite heard by the soul. He claims that Bhagavad Gita is a source of comfort for conflicts and ambiguities present in the conscience because it integrates a philosophical framework with lyrical inspiration. Mahatma Gandhi, Ghosh, Tilak, Vivekananda, and so many great persons, they were influenced by the ideal of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga has played the lives and activities of these thinkers, and they inspired and ideally guided them in their thoughts. Krishna says, do your duty to the best of your ability. O Arjuna, with your mind attached to the Lord, abandoning worries and attachment to the results, and remaining calm in both success and failure. So he talks about equanimity, that is in yoga. Yoga means to join work with spirituality, and this becomes Karma Yoga when action is performed with spirituality. So it provides the grounding in the facts and reality of the universal relationship between the person, his own mind, person with society, person with nature, person with supreme power, and thus person moves from positions which are dominated by self-concerns. One can recognize the pervasiveness of generosity in one's own life and the relative pettiness of one over concerns and one's own needs and feelings, enhancing one's spiritual intelligence. So I have taken thoughts of different critics and writers. So Bhuvak, he talks about that this talks about value-based education. It makes that it portrays the potential of condition which might transcend cognition, emotion, and behavior, and that this state can be attained via the practice of Karma Yoga. And D.C. Mathur, he talked about paradoxical notions, metaphysical ambiguity, and examined and discentered Nishkam Karma. And he talks about his own theory to deal with the changing social paradigms. So in the logical words, he claims that the value of social order and idealizes qualities that allow the self to remain unhindered by.
Please, I'm sorry. It's really very painful to stop you on the way, but 1 minute, please sum up. Come to the conclusion, ma'am.
Okay, sir. It teaches the better way of life in one's own hand, and that is in individual hands, who is the creator of his own destiny. It talks about problems that arise from within man and all the solutions of problems are within man. So it masterfully combines and harmonizes the idea of duty, devotion, self-knowledge, and putting them in conflict with one another, and giving the reader perpetual pleasure, serenity, joy throughout their life. So it brings peace, allowing the reader to live dynamically while facing life's problem. And summing up with Tilak's words that this is not a treatise for leisurely pursuit for old folks in their retirement years, but a guide for youth for living a meaningful life which lies ahead for them. Thank you, sir. Any questions?
Yeah, ma'am, very good presentation it was. But now we will take the question answer session with your video. Please switch on your video
Sir,
and appear for the question answer session.
Sir, the host has not
The
permitted.
host has not done.
Maybe.
No. We have not put any video on or off. It is in your hands, presenter's hand. Please. Better you appear with your video.
Sir, it's not initiated in my device. I tried many times, but still, I'm till end in this session. So maybe if there are questions, I'm ready to answer. And till then, I'll try.
Okay, I'm the co-host, and I have not put any restriction on any presenter.
So I'm trying my best to do this, but I don't know how to.
Your presentation was very good. We need to have more interactive session with the other presenters. So at least for your interaction, for your question answer session, you need to appear with video, please, ma'am. I request you.
Sir, I'll try with another device in that meantime. So maybe the next speaker will continue, and I'm here in this session.
Okay. The next one is Kapila Joshi. The next presenter, Kapila Joshi, please come, appear with video and introduce and present your paper. Kapila Joshi, not available. Miss Subhankshi Rajawat. Miss Kapila Joshi. Subhankshi Rajawat. Mr. Naresh Kumar. Naresh Kumar is not here. Subhankshi Rajawat is also not there. And Ayushi Seni is there. One more minute. Sarath S. Kumar. So the main host from Amity University, please note it. Naresh Kumar is absent. Sarath S. Kumar is also absent. Kapila Joshi is also absent. Subhankshi Rajawat is also absent. And we will get back to Dr. Seema Sharma for interaction. And before that, I invite Ayushi Seni for her paper. Please, Ayushi Seni. This is the problem of technology. Ayushi Seni, am I audible? Ayushi Seni is there in the list of participants.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Am I audible to you?
Now you are very much audible and visible. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, sir. So my name is Ayushi. I am a research scholar in Delhi Technological University, and I am here to present my paper titled Evolution of Ramayana and its Character, a Mythopoesis Study. So, mythopoesis, as a word, I want to give a definition to it. It is a literary genre which that incorporates ancient mythology into modern fiction. So, for example, as we come up with different novels, recreating the mythological characters and putting them into different plots and different situations, and presenting them in a very different and unique light, they all come under mythopoesis. So now, before moving into this paper, let's discuss where mythopoesis comes from, and for that we have to delve into myth and mythology. So, R. Shashidhar, writer, he says in one of his papers, Literature and the New Myth, he observes that myths have always been powerful tool in managing societies. Myths have helped naturalize social order, and this is myths tells us this is how things have always been. So, according to me, what I feel is mythology is not a religion, it is not a science, it is a category into itself which combines heart to mind, which combines and it acts as a bridge between our intellect, our emotion, and between our truth and our ideals, between what is human, what is non-human, and maybe between what we understand as God and what we understand as non-God, or whatever the anti word we give to God. So mythology is one of the oldest form of literature, and it lays its foundation in giving pleasure with morality to the readers. Now, my paper study is as the text from where these myths of any society are derived, and these myths, as we may consider them as legends, we may consider them as old, but what I realized and analyzed while reading this paper or while working on this paper are these myths are anything but static. They evolve with the evolution of society, technology, and time. This paper is an attempt to read one such mythological text called Ramayana through the lens of mythopoesis. The Ramayana is a foundational text of Indian society which have been interpreted and reinterpreted. Yes, sir.
Your paper is, yeah. Kindly don't read the paper, only explain the keywords.
Okay, sir. So let me explain it this way. So Ramayana, as we know it, uh, as we popularly know it, is written by Valmiki, right? So mythopoesis as a concept is something that is called creating a new myth and deriving the plot, the character from the old legends and myths that we have. Uh, so let's start it this way, that in India also we have different versions of Ramayana. Kriti Bas Ramayana, we have different a Ramayana in Nepal, we have a Ramayana in Vietnam, in Cambodia, and different regions altogether. So the complexity and the length of Ramayana is such that although all these versions revolve around the same characters, the plot is altogether unique. So there is this one Ramayana which is in Cambodia, and it has Muslim characters, because when the Ramayana was written, after that there was this era where there was a Muslim ruler there, and so he removed the Hindu names from there and he put Muslim names, and the morals, the ideals which were given to the society and the people of the society were the same, just the name were different. So mythopoesis as a concept may be new. It might have been just it was first used by J.R.R. Tolkien in one of his poems and was coined in around 1800s or 1900s, but the concept is as old as say 10th century or 12th century or something like that. So in one of his book called Sita, an illustrated retelling of Ramayana, Dev Patnaik has said that Ramayana was read into 4 phases. The first phase was till 2nd century. It is when Valmiki Ramayana takes its final phase. And after that, in second phase, between 2nd to 10th century CE, many Sanskrit and Prakrit plays come into the play, and they attempt to locate Ram as in Buddhist traditions as well. But Ram got mostly famous into Puranic literature. Then in the third phase, after 10th century, against the backdrop of rising tide of Islam, the Ramayana becomes the epic of choice to be put down into local tongues. Here the trend is to be devotional, with Ram as God and Hanuman as his venerated devotee and servant, in which Sri Ramcharitmanas come into play, where Tulsidas has taken a Purushottam, as we know, an ideal man, and converted him into a deity, a supreme deity. Now, in the fourth phase, since the 19th century, it is strongly influenced by European and American gaze. The Ramayana is decoded, deconstructed, and reimagined based on modern popular theory of justice and fairness. Now, I want to go back and discuss about few of the adaptation which were taken by movies, series, and all those things. Now, first series that we all remember is Ramayana by Ramanand Sagar, which was aired in 1800s, and it was popularly it was so popular that even TV sets were venerated by the people. So and Ramanand Sagar himself, in a lot of his narrations during that series, says that Ramayana which was aired was not derived from one particular version of Ramayana, but it was taken from different version of Ramayans. Few of the plots and few of the narrations were taken from Kritibas, that is our Bengali Ramayana, and few were from the Tulsidas Ramayana as well. So the kind of society that Ramayana created was making Ram and Sita as such a supreme deity that people started venerating the actors, the TV sets, and all the area related to that. When we move forward, there was another serial called Ramayana Jeevan Ka Aadhar, which was aired on ZTV. Okay, sir. Which was aired on TV, and due to a set area of where TV serials were having a lot of drama, a lot of spices around the female characters, what this particular serial did was presented Sita as a very naive character, whereas it presented Manthara and Kekai in a very negative character. It gave unnecessary attention, and I'm using the word unnecessary because I found that the character of Manthara was itself introduced in the first episode of the series, which was not the scene in Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana or any other serial that I saw. So because of the environment created of Indian Hindi serials, the character of Manthara was given unnecessary attention, and it created unnecessary drama as well. This was around.
Thank you. Ayushi?
Yes, sir.
I did not find anything. Yeah. Although you have simply re-narrated the story which we already know. You
Yes,
have
sir.
simply narrated the story of Ramayana,
Yes,
in
sir.
which there are good characters, bad characters, and all.
Yes, sir.
Because literature is rightly said, literature is the mirror of society. So
Right,
all
sir.
these types of characters, they are stereotypical characters. They do live with us in the society. So it's nothing. So I did not find. There are two things I need to remind you about.
Okay.
Number one is that you have treated Ramayana as mythology. That is absolutely wrong. Because why it is mythology? It's not a mythology, it is a record. Everything is recorded, practiced here. These were the characters of this holy book. They once visited the planet. Our belief system say they were once upon a time, they were here. Mythology is a wrong word for the Ramayana, because the same thing I wanted to ask the earlier presenter also, Dr. Seema Sharma, where if she is there, she can be listening and she can also come in between to interact with us. that the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, the Gita, she told that they contributed to the Indian philosophy. In my opinion, perhaps they themselves are the philosophy. They themselves are the Shastras. Myth word has come from Greek and Latin period. Okay. Because they have their story. They have their stories, their sacred stories only in the narrative form, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So Ramayana, please listen. Your paper you need to rewrite for getting it published. And my personal request to you is not to consider Ramayana as a myth or mythology. It is a recorded thing which we have lived. Rama was also there. The historical significance is available. Historical footprints are available. Things are recorded. So I'm not in favor of calling the Ramayana as a mythology, number one. Number two, the word which you are using, that Ramanand created and Valmiki Ramayana, Tulsi Ramayana, they created. They did not create. They just recorded. They were the religious historians. And what the historians do, they just what they see and they write it down.
Yes, sir.
So
Sir,
don't call Ramayana.
okay. Sir, as I move towards my conclusion, the conclusion was this only, that I agree, I'll not call it myth, I'll call it history, but the concept of mythopoesis, as we see, is it's like the concept might be new, but all these writers that we have seen, as you say, that they are the creators, they are just the recorders of the history. The concept of mythopoesis might be new, but the it is very personal. I might believe, I might have read Bengali rendition of it, you might have read Tulsidas rendition of it, but the concept and our understanding of a character is very unique. Although it's a cultural identity, but it is unique to each person of a society. And as these new books come up, the unique personalities that are coming out of from our books, from these recorded history, they are as unique as we move forward with our technology as well. So for example, in a lot of new books, there is one trilogy that I have been reading, The Hidden Hindu by Akshat Gupta. He has recorded Ramayana. He has used technology, he has used history, myths, facts, and science all together to combine a new era of it. The belief are the same, but the identity.
Thank you very much. But the basic thing is, fundamental thing is, these people nowadays, there is going on an ideological war. So in which the people are interpreting, reinterpreting, they are trying to make new identity. They are trying to make some Gandharv Viva between the two opposite concepts. So these things are going on. They are baseless things and theories. These are the people, they are trying to propound the theory, and all the theories, they are aporia. No theory is fixed. So just Ramayana one side and you are the reader. Do you know what Astyk already said? Who is a poet and who is the reader? Who is the writer and who is the reader? A man is speaking to a man. So there should not be anybody in between. We need to develop our own personal concept. And whatever suggestion, reference we take from the other sources, from the secondary material, from the secondary writer, from the interpreter, that time we need to either to support our criticism or to support the appreciation. Rather than actual Ramayana, you are appreciating those people who are defending it or creating more problems to it. Anyway, thank you very much. Good effort, Ayushi, but take up all these suggestions.
Yes, sir, I've written them.
Now,
I'll take them.
now I give the last call. If there is Naresh Kumar, can come and present his paper. Sarath S. Kumar, he can come and present the paper. Dr. Anandita Saha.
Yes,
Kapila
sir.
Joshi.
Sir, I'm here. I am Anindita Saha, but my video is still not been started. It has been showing that it has been stopped by the host. But I am now presenting my paper, sir.
I am the co-host and there is no restriction from our side.
But sir, it has been
So
showing,
many
sir. I have
present-
contacted with the authority also, but still.
What the authority is saying?
They are saying that they are trying, but still it has not been started, sir. Sir, it has been, the video has started.
Who started? You started or the host started it?
You started it, sir. You are the co-hosts, I think.
Anyway,
Okay,
please.
sir. Okay, sir.
Only 7 minutes. Within 7 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Now is
Namaskar.
one.
Namaskar and good
Please.
afternoon, sir. I am Dr. Anindita Saha, Assistant Professor of English at Rani Dharna Kumari College, West Bengal. The topic of my presentation is Critique of Imperialism, a comparative study in Jane Austen's Mansfield Park and George Sand's Indiana. Scholars for many years assigned Jane Austen the place of a conservative writer, and so she was presented as one. Like the critic Madeline Butler even goes to view Austen as a subconscious tool of the establishment. But my observation is that those critics who think that Austen is out and out conservative writer fail to notice that her writing is subversive and full of irony. And they fail to notice that Jane Austen has the capacity of writing in between lines in her fiction, and they are unaware of the Wollstonecraft scandal and the then political scenario of England and its impact on female writers during the Regency period. As a result, they consider her as an advocate of patriarchy and imperialism. But I hold a different view. I think she is a feminist writer, as well as she is not the supporter of imperialism or colonialism. About nonconformist thought, I must say that like her life, the subject matter of her novels are unconventional, and the heroine of her novels are all boundary-breaking women like herself. She was a socialist indeed. I have observed how in Mansfield Park and in Indiana, George Sand and Austen especially expressed their empathy for the slaves of the British and French colonies by equating them with the white women of England and France respectively, and thereby they blurred the distinction between races. I have also observed that historical and social consciousness, because they highlight the issues of British and French colonial expansion out of Europe. They also, Austen highlight the rules of primogeniture, and both the writers highlight women's lack of rights in every sphere of life in Phallocentric society as depicted in their novels. Actually, both Mansfield Park and Indiana are post-abolition narrative that intertwine with a critique of slavery and gender relations in the backdrop of imperialism or colonialism. In these novels, traditional relationship of power between the colonialist and colonized peoples echo the gender relations at home and vice versa. Actually, European women visibly signify the most egregiously and invisibly repressed of the text. Actually, they are the African Caribbean slaves themselves. They mark the silent Afro-Caribbean rebels as well as their own disenfranchisement, class, and gender victimization. On the other hand, in Indiana, the heroine is herself a daughter of a plantocratic father who is very cruel not only to the slaves but also to his daughter also. Both the novels work against the idea of the traditionally closed and brutal world of plantocratic relations, which came into existence because of imperialism. In Mansfield Park, Sir Thomas, who actually defended plantocratic interest in British Parliament, belonged to the outer ring of absentee planters and merchants who never or rarely visited the colonies, although their connection remained solid. During the time when Mansfield Park was written in England, the Luddite riots fomented unrest, the Prime Minister was assassinated, war was declared against US, and the gentry faced a general economic crisis. We come to know from the text that Sir Thomas needs his Caribbean profits to stay
Kindly sum up. Kindly sum up is 1 minute.
Please, sir.
Andita Saha, please sum up.
Okay, sir.
1 minute is given to you.
Okay. Lorraine Court considers storage a tool to challenge the anonymous and universalist pretension of dominant theories and afford rich opportunities for self-reflexive theory making. Storage are a way of shaping revisionary projects and transformational agendas. In fact, here both the writers, Austen and Shaw, presented apparently neutral story without overtly pleading, and they remain thus open to their point of view. Mansfield Park and Indian are such novels. Sand, like Austen, uses storage as a way to demonstrate the deplorable condition of women in society and the brutality meted out to the slaves in colonized countries overtly, and to reach the readers when overt complaint may not be heard. Slavery became an important issue for them, and they wanted emancipation of slaves, and come to the conclusion by deduction, as overt references to the issue are few in this novel, that from Sand's novel we get a vivid picture of 19th century France with its colonial expansion and the status of women in that society, as we find a clear-cut picture of Regency England with its imperialism from the work of Austen. And I come to the conclusion that both the writers were not supporters of imperialism, but were against it. Otherwise, they would not highlight the brutalities of colonialism. Thank you, sir.
Most of the parts which you have presented is agreed. The writers you have taken up, Jane Austen and Charles Dickens. However, you have taken only one novel, Mansfield Park. Otherwise, you can go for Charles Dickens, one more, A Tale of Two Cities.
Sir, one thing, it is not just Dickens, sir. It is George Sand, the French novelist of the 19th century. George Sand, sir.
Okay. They were the supporters of colonialism. They supported imperialism. Fine. So, just to conclude that they were the supporters of imperialism. Fine. So what is new here, which already we know?
No, sir. I argued that they were not supporters of imperialism. They were against.
They were not.
Yes. They were against
they
imperialism.
Were
not supporter of imperialism.
That's good. Okay, thank you, Nandita. We have one more presenter, Dr. Lalita Sharma. Is there Lalita Sharma?
Yes, sir. A very good afternoon, sir. Myself, Lalita Sharma, Associate Professor English from Government College, Brahmpuri, Jaipur. The title of my paper is Challenging Tradition, Social Reforms and Widowhood in Prema by Munshi Premchand. As we know that Munshi Premchand has written so many novels, but my focus is on Prema, which is a novel based on widowhood. Widowhood, as we know, has long been a subject of socio-cultural significance in Indian society, with widows often facing stigmatization, marginalization, and adherence to traditional norms. Munshi Premchand, a prominent figure in Indian literature, he explores the complexities of widowhood in his novel Prema. The novel presents a compelling narrative that offers insight into the lives of widows and the societal attitude they encounter. by closely examining the experiences of the widowed protagonist, Purna. Purna is the protagonist of this novel, and there are other female characters also. This paper aims to shed the light on the challenges the widows face and unravel the intricate interplay between tradition and transformation concerning widowhood in Indian culture. It's a revolutionary story because the male protagonist, Amrit Rai, attempts to subvert repressive standards and practices related to widowhood by marrying the widow himself and promoting widow remarriage. The novel highlights the significance of literature as a medium to promote social reforms and empower marginalized widows. My paper also underscores the importance of fostering inclusivity and understanding within the larger social fabric to ensure that widows receive the support and empowerment they need to lead dignified lives beyond the constraints of tradition and beliefs. As we know, that in 20th century, the position of widows within the societal framework was particularly very challenging, as they faced numerous restrictions and discriminatory practices that denied them agency, dignity, and social standing. And widows were often subjected to many restrictions. The death of a husband was seen as a result of past misdeeds or bad karma of the women. So a widow was viewed as an embodiment of evil due to socio-cultural notions firmly ingrained in Indian women's minds regarding the association between widowhood and sin. In Indian culture, widowhood is often considered inauspicious, and widows are expected to lead a life of asceticism, devoid of joy or personal fulfillment. So Munshi Premchand's novel Prema emerges as a significant literary work that sheds lights on the struggle of widows and advocates for social reforms to empower them. It was initially written in Urdu under Hum Karam or Hum Sahab, the best of two worlds. Its subtitle is Do Sakhiyon Ka Vivah, Marriage of Two Friends. Prema and her friends Purna's marriages are the novel's primary focus, which justify this title. Purna was a neighbor of Prema, who is married to Pandit Basant Kumar. It also plays a significant role in the story. The author described Purna, a 20-year-old woman. She was very beautiful and intelligent. Yes, sir.
Madam Lalita Sharma ji.
Yes, sir. So I just want to tell the little bit of the story. So yeah, maybe most of the persons are not aware of this story. That's why so I'm directly coming on the point. Okay.
No, that is what I wanted to tell you. We know the story. Simply, you are not here to narrate the story. You come to the crux. You come to your research.
Okay, sir. So I just want to tell, sir, my research is that Munshi Premchand was not only a writer, he was a social reformer. And through his novels, he tried to bring a kind of reformation or a kind of reawakening in society. Premchand used his storytelling prowess to critique societal injustice and advocate for progressive social reforms. He is known as one of the most prolific and versatile spokesperson of the disadvantaged and marginalized through his novels, stories, plays, and countless essays. And as a true believer in the liberation of widows, Premchand and his spokesperson Amrit Rai in the novel is represented as a radical thinker who loses the love of his life, Prema, to marry a widow. He prioritized social services and sacrificed his fiancée to set up an example for the upliftment of the downtrodden. So Premchand earned accolades for writing about the emancipation of widows and practicing what he preached. And he also married a widow. Prema stands out for its unflinching portrayal of widowhood as an institution burdened with oppressive tradition. Premchand wrote and supported remarriage for Hindu widows in his novels, and at that time it was considered a progressive step for women's liberation. The novel setting within the context of Indian freedom struggle adds another layer of significance. The national sentiments of the time, advocating for independence from British colonial rule, also resonated with the call for social reforms. Premchand incorporated national elements, making Prema a part of the more significant movement for social transformation. The novel invites us to empathize with the struggles of widows, prompting a deeper understanding of their experiences and the need for social reforms. By humanizing widows through the narrative, Premchand encourages us to challenge stereotypes and work towards a more compassionate society. The novel's portrayal of widows and its advocacy for their liberation prompts readers to engage in conversation about gender equality, the role of women in society, and the necessity of breaking free from restrictive tradition. So, as a literary masterpiece, Prema inspires us and remains relevant in advocating for positive changes in the context of social reforms. Widowhood has been, it has been depicted by many authors, but in Prema by Munshi Premchand adds to this literary discourse. Hello.
1 minute.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Lalita ji, kindly sum up in 1 minute.
Okay, sir. So I will
Kindly sum up in 1 minute, please.
Okay, sir. I will come to the then I will come to the conclusion directly. Yes. This novel is basically about the protagonist Purna, who, being a widow, she married and she became the catalyst of change. The novel catalyzes social reform related to widowhood and women's rights. At its core, the novel emphasizes widows and marginalized individuals' inherent dignity and humanity. The novel fosters empathy and understanding, and Prema encourages us to come together to challenge oppressive customs, and the widow remarriage motive that would later appear in the novelist's other work was first introduced in this book. Premchand was sure his works would raise awareness among the general public by depicting Amrit Rai as a responsible individual who tried to eliminate social evil. So now I would like to just conclude. Prema by Munshi Premchand has a profound and transformative impact on reshaping attitude towards widows and marginalized community. The novel's portrayal of empowerment, resistance against stigmatization, and advocacy for social reform contribute to the broader societal movement for gender equality and dignity for all individuals. By challenging oppressive custom and fostering empathy, Prema becomes a catalyst for positive societal change and is an enduring literary work that continues to inspire enlightened readers. By analyzing the novel's portrayal of widowhood and the character's defiance against societal constraints, this research paper aims to unravel how Prema becomes a catalyst for reshaping attitude towards widows and advocating for social reforms. So Prema is a powerful literary work that advocates for change, and it also highlights the significance of promoting inclusivity and understanding within the larger social fabric to ensure the widows receive the support and empowerment they need to lead dignified lives beyond the constraint of tradition beliefs. Actually, the problem of widowhood in Indian literature, which is shown in Indian literature, is still there in the society, and it is still relevant because especially in a Hindu community, widows are still facing stigmas and taboos regarding their status. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for presenting such informative views. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I hope this.
You are summing up, please. Please continue.
Okay, sir. Thank you everyone for presenting such informative views. I hope this session has been an enriching experience for everyone. Special thanks to Dr. A.S. Rao for his presence and insightful deliberations. I also thank Amity host for their support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks everyone. Thanks to Amity University for conducting this international seminar. And most importantly, thanks to every presenter here in my session, and all papers were very well accepted, except some few remarks and few suggestions from my side. Otherwise, ultimately, if you feel your paper is good, no stamp is required from anyone. If you are satisfied with your own paper, it's fine. Go ahead with it for publication also. All the best. Good luck to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. One thing which I would like to add, because I have heard your remarks. I said that Bhagavad Gita contributed to India's knowledge system by providing the philosophical foundation for Hinduism. This was my view, and very aptly pointed out that Ramayana and everything is Itihas. So thank you, sir. I hope I have done the justice. Thank you, sir.
You see my point. Yeah, right. You have come back. Thanks. Because after you, Ayushi Seni also took up those the
Ramayana.
Indian
She took up
scriptures,
Ramayana,
Shastra.
Indian scriptures. Yes,
Yes,
and she
My
talked it
objection-
in a mythology form, and I also feel that this is part of history.
It's a part of history because we need to respect our history. Mythology is unpressed. Mythology is only the story which transfers from generation to generation. Ours is all the characters, they were the incarnations. No, they took incarnation. They traveled on the planet. So we need to respect our holy books. And for you, my suggestion was that you were saying somewhere the Ramayana, the Gita, the Mahabharata, they contributed to Indian philosophy. So basically they themselves are the philosophy.
Sir, my point was they are philosophical foundation for Hinduism. This was my point.
Yes, absolutely fine. No problem.
Yes.
Good. Absolutely fine. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you. Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
everyone. Goodbye.